Good evening, everyone. Tonight we will be discussing the results of the Lake County 4-H Steer Show. It was an excellent show. We had just three classes. Within the first class, calf ID number 3 was a solid black American influence steer that was just moderate framed, really big bodied, and functionally structured. Young man does a really nice job showing him, and he's super a good built from the profile. A calf, in my mind, that just needs to be powered up from a muscle, shape, and dimension standpoint. Moving into class number 2 was one with 5 entries and quite a bit of diversity within this class. There's a stock and legged steer, ID number 2, that will be first. He is by far the biggest footed, heaviest bone steer. That's the most powerful in terms of his top and hip. A calf that combines that with a really balanced and attractive look from the profile. Just kind of couples those market fundamentals along with a show steer look. Second within that respective class is tag 75, a solid black steer that appears to have a tremendous amount of power, big top, thick-ended calf. I think that is really a combination of quality and yield. Certainly appears full in terms of his fat indicators, but not overdone. I sure like that about him. All in all, just a really nice, complete steer. Third within that class is 35, a chromed up steer, again, that just a little more conservative in terms of his frame size, but super big bodied, really strikes you with that easy feeding look. A steer that is sound and functional in his structure. Maybe is just a little bit finer boned, has a touch more set to his hock, and would just like to see him with more genuine muscle shape and expression to go along with that practical build that he offers. Next will be tag 66. This is a red calf that is super big footed and heavy boned, real sound structured. And I think he's just a thicker made, stouter constructed steer than the tag 64 that concludes the class. I would say that 64 is a little more up-headed, a little cleaner in the way that he's made underneath and up through his front 1/3. But as we get off to this, as we study this white sheath steer from behind, a calf that just needs more genuine thickness to go along with that nice profile that he offers. In our final class, we have 4 entries. Tag 56 will be first. Again, this is just a calf that strikes us with a tremendously practical look, real easy feeding type and kind. He's a sound structured, deep bodied calf that really appears full in terms of his external fat indicators. I think one that's thick and wide made, although he's not the most impressive in terms of muscle shape. Second within the class is kind of a red, chromed up American influence steer. Again, just big feet, really heavy boned, a calf that you like in terms of his heavy duty construction. A calf that again is more market ready than the 2 steers that follow him within this class. Just maybe doesn't have as much attractiveness as we view him from the side. Third within this class will be a white calf that you really like in terms of his profile. He's up-headed, he's neat-fronted, really straight and strong in his lines, and attractive in the build of his hind leg. I think for us, we just question his market readiness. A calf that's a little harder in terms of his body type, maybe not quite as full in those external indicators. We'd like to drop him there in his flank. Still, we think he needs to go over tag 74 in fourth. The horned calf is one that we do appreciate for his length of body, his straightness and levelness of top line. A calf that has a lot of cutability in terms of hanging a lot of red meat, but we'd like to see him with more finish to go along with that. A calf that's a little harder in his body type and just too straight off both ends of his skeleton. We get those 3 class winners back out and study them in a comparative sense. And for us, it really comes down to the middleweight steer, tag 2. That stock and legged calf, we talked about him kind of being the combination of meeting the requirements and exceeding those of that of a market steer, but coupling it with just a super high quality look. He'll be your champion. And to follow out of that same class, tag 75 will be reserved. Again, a heavyweight calf that's got a tremendous amount of power and thickness. As you study him down his top and his hip, I think he offers a good enough look in combination with that overwhelming carcass merit to go ahead and make a really nice reserve. So again, tag 2 will be your champion 4-H steer. Tag 75 is your reserve. Super nice set of 4-H steers within the Lake County Show. Thank you.